This is Dr. Janet Piedilato welcoming you to another two-card reading from the Mystical Dream Tarot. It's the last month of the year, and we're moving toward a new year and hopefully a new opening for life for each and every one of us. So let's see what the cards have to tell us this week. As the year moves toward its end, perhaps we move toward a new beginning, not just a new year in January. So this week we start with the Three of Wands and the Innocent. On the Three of Wands, we see a forest and we see a male and a female on a road about to enter that forest. But there's a downed tree and there's an enormous figure, hands in welcome or hands in warning. And on the top of a tree, there's a scarab. On the Innocent, we see a card with the great jed pillar of stability, but winding around it is a serpent filled with energy, spitting out what's old, arising for something new in the great orb that sits by him. So let's see what these cards have to tell us. That enormous figure that stands at the end of the forest with his hands raised, is he welcoming the male and the female? And yet he's asking them perhaps to stop, to pause, to reevaluate life. They are on a road where there's a spring green on their path, and yet they seem to be seeking to move off that path, which is familiar, into the darkness of the forest. The figure is asking them, us, you and I, and all of us, as we move toward this new year, we do move toward something new for each and every one of us. And yet, we can't just plunge ahead. We need a marriage of insight and reason. We need communication between our waking senses and our dream reality communication. The scarab rises in the east above those trees, reminding us that once we do reevaluate our life, reevaluate what needs to be left behind, to climb over whatever obstacles are before us, pause for a moment, and then enter into that something new, that we see beyond all the blocks. We don't move impulsively or imprudently. We temper everything with careful deliberation, for care must be taken and trust given where it's deserved. So there is a new path for us. And the card is saying that, but it's also saying there will still be blocks before us, that challenges that we will have to meet. And the best way to meet them is to pause. Don't plunge into anything impulsively, but allow ourselves to move ahead with the communication of the waking and the dream reality. For what waits for us is like a rebirth, and there is the scarab in the sky. The card that follows it is very much in line with what the first card is telling us, for it's the innocent. In many decks, this would be considered the fool. What's important is the jed pillar of stability here, because there's so much energy. There's going to be a new landscape or a new creation, a new endeavor. And it seems like everything is changing. We're about to embark on this new cycle. But yet these creative waters that move around with this giant orb saying something is happening, we need to let go of the wastes that have held us back. We need to temper the energy that swirls around us, the enthusiasm, that we're not moving into a fantasy, that we have stability. So our imagination and our vision about what's about to happen needs to be grounded. Is this grounding in our life right now, or is it lacking? Remember, in order to move ahead, to go into that forest, this figure is telling us you've got some blockades you have to climb over. You have to think about this. All of this energy needs grounding in thought and thoughtful deliberation. We need to know that our approach is going to be practical, that it is grounded in reality. If we combine both cards, what it's telling us is that there is a future that perhaps is uncertain right now because it is a new door that we're going to move through. It is something that has not been with us before, as this year was a year of great surprises. As we move forward in our lives, each and every one of us needs careful deliberation. We need to see the road ahead. We need to be aware that there are things we have to let go. We need to be aware that there are challenges we must be strong in order to meet courageously. And with the strength of stability of that Jed pillar, with the deliberation of the waking and the intuitive mind, the dream mind, we'll have that careful deliberation to be able to move forward not only to a new year on the calendar, but a new year within us, that we now give birth to that something new, grounded in reality, in deliberation, with the courage to move forward. So, for each and every one of you, I wish you a beautiful week. Stay healthy, be safe, keep dreaming.